Welcome to a warm, hot Tuesday night at Abilene, Texas and Crutcher Scott Field. We are ready to go for non-conference baseball tonight. UT Arlington out of the Sun Belt Conference, getting ready to take on Abilene Christian out of the WAC. And welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Zach Carlisle along with Andy Penny. Glad to have you with us here tonight. Well, I think the theme is get back on track, right? UT Arlington, they're coming off the wrong end of a sweep last weekend, and Abilene Christian has dropped 5 in a row.
Yeah, you're right, Zach. Both of these teams trying to flip the script, get back on the winning side of things. It's a big weekend coming up for UT Arlington with nationally ranked Texas State coming to town. They're trying to get momentum going in the right direction tonight. For ACU, as you mentioned, losers of 5 in a row, but only halfway through Western Athletic Conference play. Still plenty of baseball to go. Is tonight the night they get going in the right direction? We shall see.
Well, about a month ago was when these two teams played last, and it was all UT Arlington 14-2. ACU trying to turn the tide tonight.
Well, the Mavericks wasted no time. They jumped out early, had big innings in both the first and the second inning, and really cruised from there in cruise control. Henry Cervantes, unfortunately, inconsistent that night as the starting pitcher, and that's really been the theme for this Wildcat team here is inconsistency of starting pitching. That was evident last week in Arlington. Hopefully that won't be the same if you're a Wildcat fan tonight, but that's definitely the story the first time these two teams played.
Speaking of starting pitching, it's going to be a carousel tonight. It won't just be these two starters, but Jack Hagan making career start number 1, Sam Berberich for the first time this year for ACU.
And I think you see this, Zach, for both teams who are struggling inconsistent of starting pitching, both teams willing to start a new pitcher. It's the 15th appearance for Jack Hagan this season, the 12th for Sam Berberich, but both in a starting role for the first time. Both of these coaches extending their bullpen, trying somebody new who can get out of the gates faster tonight with better starting pitching. That should be and could be the tail of the tape tonight.
Trying to get back on track, UT Arlington and Abilene Christian. We've got the lineups and the first pitch next. Back at Crutcher Scott Field, this building that opened all the way back in 1991, getting ready for non-conference action here tonight. It's a hot one, and the wind is blowing in Abilene, Texas, as it always does. So we expect this could be a hitter's night at the park. Almost 20-mile-an-hour winds and a hot one indeed. Well, UT Arlington out of the Sun Belt, and head coach Darren Thomas puts pen to paper. What does he come up with for a starting lineup for these Mavericks as we get ready for the game here tonight? I love the light blue uniforms for UTA. Tanner Rice at the top, Boo Montgomery and Nick Pierce. There's Galvan and Henry, and the other Rice, Tyler Rice, at the 6th spot of the order as well. Lumsden getting the start as a DH. And Sam Crowell, not the typical starter behind the plate, but he'll be back there again for UTA, and Gregory rounds out the starting 9. And these Mavericks are going up against ACU's right-hander, Sam Burbridge. He gets the nod for Rick McCarty.
Yeah, Zach, his first start, as you can see, his 12th appearance on the year, but no record, his first start of the year. The 5'10", 170-pound sophomore, the transfer from Seward Community College as well. And really, Sam has been pretty good over his last few starts. You look back to a game against Tarleton on March the 26th. He went 3 1/3 innings, just 1 run, 1 hit in that contest. Pitched this weekend against Sam Houston, went 3 innings of work, didn't give up 2 runs, but only one of those earned in those 3 innings of work. So Sam has had some nice appearances over the last 3 weeks or so. So Coach Rick McCarty gives him the ball and the bump to get things started this afternoon.
Yeah, can't wait to get this thing going. Here's the ACU defense with Hill, Randall, and Hamid Aguizer on the infield. Staley the nod in left, Tatro and Eager on the outfield, and Tanner Tweed is the battery mate with Sam Burbridge. Tanner Rice steps in. Let's do this on a Tuesday night. Off we go with ball number 1.
Well, again, Zach, this is a Wildcat team just trying to find something positive here. It was a tough week last week, a 5-game week last week. So there's a ball hit into play.
And it is Brett Hammett to take care of it, and a couple of pitches in, out number 1, 4-3.
Yeah, again, a 5-game week last week, a 2-game midweek with Air Force, and then Sam Houston, who came into town. And just one of those weeks of baseball as the Wildcats dropped all 5 last week. So trying to find something positive and good start there to ground out there for out number 1.
Yeah, and then on the other side of things, you got this UT Arlington squad that is also coming off of a tough stretch after they beat Tarleton 16-13 last Wednesday, and a called strike to Boone Montgomery. Darren Thomas picked up his 400th career win in that one last Wednesday. They dropped 3 in a row at Little Rock over the weekend. So they're trying to get back on track as well. Montgomery shoots 1 foul, and he's behind 0-2.
You can see here, Zach, a unique delivery, a release point here from Burbridge. A little sidearm action, not full to the side, but about the 10 o'clock location is where he lets go of the baseball. But attacking the strike zone here early, and he works ahead in the count.
Comes from the stretch as well. You can tell he's typically a reliever for Abilene Christian. You got 2 guys tonight that don't start, but tonight it's a bullpen type of game. Could be very offensive. You might need some runs to win here tonight. UTA beat ACU 14-2 the last time these 2 teams played in Arlington on March the 15th. Up the middle and through. And a base hit for Boone Montgomery, the first of probably many hits between these 2 here tonight.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Montgomery. He's behind in the count, 0-2. He has to protect, and Burbridge again attacking the strike zone, but Montgomery shoots that one right back up the middle for the first hit of the evening. So this is a UT Arlington team that does not hit for extra base hits very often, just 68 extra base hits on the year. They'll be a station-to-station type team. So if Burbridge can get some ground balls and see if his infield can turn some double plays or get some fly ball outs, will certainly help his cause.
Now it's Nick Pierce, the leader in average, the lone Maverick, hitting above 300 for the season. Not a ton of RBI chances this season for the redshirt sophomore. The UTA center fielder. It got away for a moment, but Montgomery didn't take it down to second base.
Well, Tanner Tweed's making a name for himself back behind the plate. He's tough to run on. He's thrown out 5 of 9 runners, only given up 4 stolen bases on the year. I'm sure that was part of the scouting report. Again, having to go station to station tonight. It will be hard to steal bases on Tanner Tweed.
Now, Tweed's caught more as this one is driven in the air, right center field, back at the wall, and a good start for UT Arlington. A 2-run homer for Nick Pierce, his first of the season, and the Mavericks strike first.
Well, good piece of hitting there by Pierce, and this is a wind that's really blowing out to left field tonight. It is a hitter's ballpark as the wind blows out to left, but he kind of cut the crosswind and went to right center field, and as you mentioned, first home run of the year, RBIs 4 and 5, and a team that does not hit, again, for power, are the Mavericks. Just their 14th home run of the season, but boy, Pierce turned on that one and drove it out over that right center field wall at 380 feet.
No chance for Grayson Tatro in center on that one. It's Wilson Galvan now with a 2-0 lead for the visitors from UTA. These two teams separated on Interstate 20 here in the state of Texas. Arlington to Abilene, and it's a 2-0 count to Galvan. .266 for the season and a called strike to make it 2-1.
Well, Galvan's a regular in the lineup, his 25th start in game number 29. We'll see how Burbridge can respond here. Hitters count here, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Third most hits of the season for the Mavericks is Galvan. This one not quite going to get over the head of Bash Randall at shortstop, and the second out of the top of the first.
Didn't quite barrel that one up. Hit that one with some top spin on it. It drops right into the glove of Randall, who had it fielded perfectly deep in the hole at shortstop. And we've seen Randall, especially left-handed hitters, play well up the middle, but there with the right-handed hitter back at his normal shortstop position to make the play.
Now Zach Henry, the left fielder, he'll take a strike. 5-hitter in the order, just a point under 300 for his average this season. He is a mainstay in left field for the Mavericks.
Well, I like how Burbridge is attacking the strike zone right now. I've not seen too much out of the zone. Hey, on nights like tonight, you've been struggling, 5-game losing streak here for the Wildcats. Go ahead, attack some hitters and let your defense make some plays.
Called strike 1 and 2 to your point. ACU, in their 5-game losing streak, walked 24 batters. And so they really want to clean that up and just make teams earn it a little bit more instead of giving free bases. And UTA earned it with the 2-run blast from Nick Pierce and a called strike to end the inning. UTA strikes with the 2-run homer, and it is the Mavericks 2 and the Wildcats of Abilene Christian coming up. UTA scores 2 in the top half. Abilene Christian coming to the plate. Rick McCarty puts this lineup together for his Wildcats. Mitchell Dixon always leads off. Tonight he's the designated hitter. Tatro and Eager 2 and 3. In the middle, it's Tweed, Randall, and Hill. Hammett, Geezer, and Staley, a new addition in left field, taking over for the injured Miller Ladisaw. They're going to face this right-hander, Jack Hagan, first career start tonight.
Yeah, again, Hagan, the sophomore, 6'3", 185 pounds. He's a good-looking specimen out of McKinney Boyd High School there in the Metroplex. 15th appearance, first start of the year. Does have a record of 1-0. As you can see, 21 1/3 innings of work, 18 strikeouts, 7 walks. His longest appearance, 3 2/3 against South Alabama. Did have a 3-inning affair against A&M Corpus Christi. No runs, 3 hits. That was his debut of the 2022 season. worked an inning against Little Rock this past weekend, 1 run and 1 hit in that game versus Little Rock on April the 8th.
A strike to Mitchell Dixon, who led the Southland Conference a season ago in batting average. He's having a good season as ACU's leadoff man once again. He will catch, he will DH, and him and Tanner Tweed both in the lineup tonight.
Well, this is a Wildcat team, a .290 team batting average, and love to hit for power. 113 extra base hits on the year.
This one's in the air to right. Wilson Galvan, he's there for out number 1. So you see Galvan in right. How about the rest of the Maverick defense behind Jack Hagan? There it is. Henry and Pierce join Galvan in the outfield. Montgomery and Gregory on the left side. Then the Rice brothers on the right side of the infield. Crowell not typically the man behind the plate for UTA, but he's back there tonight as Hagan's battery mate. So you got a couple of catchers who aren't the starters that are getting the nod tonight. Now Tweed starts a little bit more often than Crowell has this year, and then you got pitchers who don't typically start either. So an interesting combination for sure.
Well, Hagan off to a nice start here for the Mavericks, and again, really both pitchers thus far. You're going to pound the zone with strikes tonight, force the other team to swing the bat. That went on the inside, but you know, more importantly for teams with losing streaks, you have to command the strike zone. You really have to locate the fastball more than anything. Get ahead in the count best you can, and force batters to swing at pitches they don't want to swing at.
Ground ball, Tatro. Well, I think it hit him off of number 22's leg, and so it will go foul. 1-2. Tatro, here's a guy that Rick McCarty has said if he is what they think he can be, it's a Major League Baseball draft pick down the road. They love the potential and the raw talent of their center fielder.
Well, current 24-game reach base streak for Tatro. Behind in the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A guy who typically hits second in the order and also the team leader in the long ball. 8 of them this season for an ACU group that's hit 43 of them. Tops in the WAC. It wasn't enough last weekend at home against Sam Houston. Called strike 3. Good pitch from Hagan for the second out.
Off-speed pitch that starts on the outside and tails its way back in, hooks back in on the outside portion of the plate. You'll see the replay here. A pitch that looks like it stays on the outside, but that catches it. Good frame by Kroll behind the plate, and 2 up, 2 down.
Colton Eager, the mainstay in right field for Abilene Christian. Again, with the injury to Ladisaw, they put Staley in there, but that's as good of an outfield as you could find in the conference, in particular in the WAC, as ACU's in year 1 in that league. Eager, been around forever for Abilene Christian as a grad student this year and takes a called strike.
Well, I tell you, a little meeting of the minds there as Hagan was ready. He was up on the bump, and you can see it again here. Eager taking his time, getting ready, but Hagan has the glove up over the face, and he's ready to go. But Eager, we're going to fix the batting gloves here. Take a second, and again, Hagan out on the mound. He's ready to go, just waiting for Eager to step in. A little gamesmanship going on here in the bottom of the first.
Takes outside for ball 2, and Eager had a good series against Sam Houston. The Wildcats did not, going 0-3 against the Bearcats out of Huntsville. But Eager hit .545 over the weekend and had a couple of doubles and a homer. And he gets underneath this one. This is into center. Nick Pierce is there, and that is a great start for Jack Hagan. 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. And the Mavericks are off to a good start in Abilene, Texas. Up 2-0 after 1. UT Arlington up 2-0 over ACU. Look at this, 44 total runs in the first and second inning this year. 25%. That includes tonight 2 more in the first. This team gets out of the gate strong, and that's really what you have to do in these midweek non-conference games, for sure.
You know some runs are going to be put on the board tonight. If you can play out in front, certainly helps strategy and your pitching staff and decisions that have to be made down the road. And, of course, the 2-run home run gave UTA an early 2-0 lead.
Pierce his first of the year. Tyler Rice, the junior, hitting 250, a little bit higher than that when he is the leadoff man in an inning, 267 this season. Grounds 1 to first. Hunter Geezer says, it's mine. I got it. 1 out.
Burbridge working fast and a nice first inning. 17 pitches in that first inning of work. Just the one mistake where he gave up the home run. But, 17 pitches and already here with an out and 3 pitches here in this top of the second inning. So working fast, again, pounding strikes. Let your defense make some plays. It's an ACU defense with a .975 fielding percentage. So trust the guys behind you and continue to throw strikes.
And a swing and a miss. Matt Lumsden, the designated hitter. Start number 14 this season. You and I were talking about that a little bit, though. You want to trust this defense that's really been good all season long, except for as of late. The last week is really when it's kind of unfolded and hasn't gone the way ACU needs it on that side.
Well, you're talking about a Wildcat team that has only made 28 errors on the season. However, 10 of those in these last 5 games, the 5-game losing streak. Sam Houston with 12 unearned runs this past weekend, 7 errors by the Wildcats on the weekend. So, what has been good all season long. As a matter of fact, this time last Tuesday's midweek against Air Force, the fielding percentage at .981. That's dropped down to .975. Again, 10 errors in 5 games.
3-1 count to Lumsden, the designated hitter. 6-7-8 in this inning for UT Arlington. We'll see how long the leash will be for Burbridge tonight. As this one's in the air to the left. Staley is, closer to the warning track than I thought that one would get to it, but he got there, and there's 2 down.
Well, that ball's hit the opposite way, so it doesn't carry very well for Lumsden as he hits that the opposite way, but it's tailing away from Staley, and that's the way the wind's blowing tonight. It's really pushing over the left field wall and a little bit from right field pole to left field pole. So tailing away from Staley, a little lengthier run than what he may have anticipated off the bat, and he gets it a step shy of the warning track, 2 up, 2 down.
And Staley trying to take advantage of an opportunity because with Miller Ladisaw out of the order, that's a ground ball. Sam Crowell fouls it away, 0-1. And so without Ladisaw, they love Staley and they love putting him in the lineup whenever they can, but it's a packed outfield out there for ACU, so he's going to get an opportunity to play some defense and swing the bat tonight. Check swing, 0-2.
Well, Crowell trying to get something going, 0 for his last 16. As a matter of fact, he is just a day shy of a month since his last hit, a 2-for-2 performance versus Incarnate Word, but since then, 0 for his last 16 at the plate.
170 average on the season. Just not an offensive-oriented team this year. Last weekend played games 6-5 in the 10th. Is how they lost to Little Rock on Sunday, losing Saturday 4-3 and 5-1 on Friday. So low-scoring affairs. Down the line, and the streak is over. Into the corner it goes. On his way to second is Crowell. That is a 2-out double.
Well, the baseball gods come back to bite us in the broadcast booth. That's pretty typical. You mentioned a guy is perfect at the free throw line.
That's
or
right.
Something like that. It always comes back to
it's always a kick in football, isn't it?
No doubt. Good piece of hitting there. Turns on that one down the line. And now for the Mavericks, 3 hits, 2 of those extra base hits, the double and the home run. Man in scoring position with 2 outs.
Go figure. Who would have thought? It's just not a team that pounds the baseball. But Abilene Christian has struggled with their pitchers this season getting hit. They had a rough week last week where they gave up 62 runs. It is a called strike to the 9-hitter in the order. It's Gregory, the shortstop. 2-out chance here.
And on the flip side of what we were just mentioning. Here's Gregory, a 5-hit weekend versus Little Rock this past weekend.
And with 2 outs, he sends it into right center field. It's down. Crowell's coming around, and he'll score. It's 3-0 UTA. RBI single, Kason Gregory, and the Mavericks strike here in the second.
Well, a good piece of hitting by Gregory. Again, with 2 outs, just puts something in play. He takes the pitch where it's thrown and hits it in the opposite way and able to bloop one in. Manufacturing a run here with 2 outs. Back-to-back hits for the Mavericks.
Turn the order back over, and Rice will step in. 2 quick outs for Burbridge. And then the double and the single makes it 3-0. And ball 1 to Tanner Rice. It's an interesting week. You know, it's the off week for Abilene Christian. They do not play any WAC teams. In fact, they won't have a WAC game until all the way till next Friday. But it's just a week to try to figure some things out and feel a little bit better. This one's into left center field, and down it goes. Tanner Rice has his first hit of the game. 3 straight hits after 2 out here in the second for the Mavs.
And again, just a good piece of hitting here by Rice as he goes with that pitch, hits it the opposite way. He's able to get enough of the barrel on it to float it over Randall there at shortstop. Old Texas leaguer into left center field. Station to station there, only able to move up the one base is Gregory. Thought he might have a chance to go first to third with 2 outs, but stays there at second base. But nonetheless, another runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Boone Montgomery. 2 on, 2 out, strike 1. I've been impressed. These are good at bats that UTA is having so far tonight.
Yeah, protecting well. A lot of this with 2 strikes, 1 with 2 outs, but also with 2 strikes. Keeping ABs alive that are keeping the inning alive.
Montgomery singled and then scored on the homer in the first. Well outside, and the wild pitch will move up the runners.
Here's where Burbridge just needs to reset. Started the inning well with the first 2 outs, and now UTA has had his number here in the last 3 at-bats, but still concentrate on the batter here. Let your defense make your play and get you out of the inning. Try to strand these 2 runners. Critical moment here. Already UTA the 3-0 lead with 2 more in scoring position.
2-1 as that one misses outside. Montgomery has struggled a bit in these types of situations, hitting just 150 with runners in scoring position and less than 100 with 2 out in an inning. But a golden chance here to get an early cushion for his pitcher, Jack Hagan. It's ball 3. And a similar theme now for ACU, where it's an early deficit for the Wildcats, and it puts a lot of pressure on them to try to come back in a ball game.
Well, Burbridge, again, was attacking that strike zone, but now after 3 consecutive hits, he's trying to nibble the corners and work the bottom portion of the zone. He had the wild pitch and then another pitch on the outside. That one down low. Tweed a nice stop behind the plate, but behind in the count here, 3-1. There's a good pitch. It's a good follow-up pitch. Looked like a take sign there from Montgomery.
Full count to Montgomery. And a strikeout ends the inning. UTA 2 in the first, 1 here in the second. 3-0 visitors. Middle of inning number 2 on this Tuesday night in Abilene, Texas. ACU brings up 4, 5, and 6 in the order in the bottom of the second inning. UT Arlington in front 3-0 on this beautiful Tuesday night. The middle of April non-conference action, and Tanner Tweed fouls it off 0-1. Already 3 runs and already 5 hits for UTA. But you were noting, Andy, that after this called strike here, Burbridge stranded 2. That could be big for ACU. They needed that.
Yeah, put an asterisk by that early here in the contest. We'll see how this one plays out. But the bottom line there, the Mavericks had 2 in scoring position with 2 outs. Give the Mavericks credit for the first 2 being retired there in the top of the second, but 3 consecutive base hits manufacture a run. But the last 2 were stranded in scoring position, so put an asterisk by that. That could loom large, but ACU's going to have to figure out Jack Hagan here. Just 11 pitches needed in that first inning of work. A perfect 3 up, 3 down. The hardest part of the Wildcat lineup there in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, he looked really, really good. The strikeout as well of Grayson Tatro, the 0-2. Tweed drives that one into left field, and all the way to the wall it goes. Digging around, and he's got a leadoff stand-up double here in the second inning.
Good piece of hitting by the catcher. You'll see he waits back on this one and rips it into left field. Left fielder out there, Henry, had a little trouble with the sun locating that. Allowed Tweed to get around and pick up his 6th double of the season. The Wildcats have their first in scoring position.
ACU's got 64 of them this year. They really can smoke it. Almost a 500 batting average, slugging percentage rather, as a team. This team can destroy a baseball when it wants to, but there's been some injury. No Tommy Cruz, now no Miller Ladisaw, and some inconsistencies, as an offense is going to have little ups and downs over the course of a season. Here's Bash Randall. They've moved him up and down the order this season as well, hitting 5th tonight for ACU.
Well, you talk about the inconsistencies of the team. Again, ACU at 15 and 17, the record, and sometimes when you hear 500,
Randall in the air to left. Back at the wall. Goodbye. And there's the offense. Bash Randall with the 2-run shot. That's his 5th of the year. And Abilene Christian's on the board.
And that really a no-doubter. Bash knew that one off of the bat as he turned and watched that one fly. And again, the wind blowing out that direction. A little bit right field pole to left field pole, but able to cut the power alley in left center field. 380 over the wall, and Wildcats have 2 of the 3 back. She'll see it here. Boy, just locked and loaded.
Did they need that or what?
Well, that was huge. That was huge.
Randall.
Yeah, home run 44 on the year for the Wildcats. But Zach, getting back to the point we're making here as Bryson Hill steps in. You know, at 15 and 17, you kind of think, okay, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, win 1, kind of that kind of roller coaster feel. This is a Wildcat team that will have a great weekend and then a struggling weekend. They have 4 different 3-game winning streaks and 4 different 3-game losing streaks on the year. So it has really been feast or famine for this team as far as the way they got to 15 and 17.
Bryson Hill, the ACU third baseman, he's got some pop. At times they wanted to put him in the 9 spot in the order, all the way up in the 6 spot today. And to your point, it's hard. It's really hard to put this team down for a long time.
Yep.
Under Rick McCarty, they had not been swept on their home park until this past weekend against Sam Houston. It's just a team and an offense that is hard to bottle down for a long period of time. So this is uncharted territory for ACU. Hill in the air, tough with the sun. Ooh, battling it was Zach Henry, and that's a challenging first out for the Mavericks. And so, to kind of reiterate the struggles that this team has gone on here, this was what happened last week in those 5 games. They scored 24, but 62 is a loud number.
Yeah, and that's in 5 games. And let's keep in mind, 9.42 the ERA. That's with 12 of those runs unearned.
Right.
As well for those two teams, Air Force and Sam Houston. Actually, 12 of those versus Sam Houston. I believe 5 more against Air Force last week. So even close to a 10 ERA with 17 unearned runs last weekend. But back to the point, still plenty of baseball to go. We're halfway through the Western Athletic Conference schedule. We've seen this team struggle, but on the flip side of this, we've seen this team have tremendous success. And when you're talking about how this conference sets up with Western Athletic Conference play, and you're looking at the conference champion maybe being the only team that gets into the NCAA tournament, you get hot at the right time, and who knows. And this is a team that has the tools in the bag. It's just whether or not they pull the tools out of the bag at the right time.
And a ball to Brett Hammett. Should be ball and 2 strikes now to the ACU second baseman. A ton of power from number 2 in the 7th spot of the order. Started his career at Jefferson College. Came to ACU by way of Nebraska in Lincoln. This one in the air to right center. Nick Pierce drifting over. 2 down. So it's an interesting week for ACU because they've got a total non-conference week. UTA coming off of the sweep on the wrong side to Little Rock, and then it gets really tough because Texas State is coming to town. So these midweeks are interesting during the college baseball season because they're typically non-conference, and typically it's 1 game in a week, sometimes 2, but it's a chance to keep your offensive guys going and to give your pitchers opportunities.
Yeah, a big week for UTA, as you said. I think that maybe the surprise in the country thus far this year has been Texas State and the way that they have played in the Sun Belt. They are coming off a rough weekend, lost 2 out of 3.
Geezer right side, it'll roll through. Hunter Geezer has a 2-out single for Abilene Christian. After going 1, 2, 3 in the first, a double, a homer, and a single in the second for the Wildcats. Almost didn't beat a shift, but it was Rice was playing well up towards the middle, and that one rolled into right.
And nice job by Geezer to take that the opposite way. He sees the hole on the right side and able to push it through the big hole.
Staley gets into one to right, and Galvan barely had to move, and that'll end the inning. We thought there'd be some runs scored, 5 of them already through 2 innings of play. UTA in front, 3-2 after 2. Well, we figured it's going to be a bullpen type of game for both sides tonight. ACU's second pitcher is veteran right-hander Trevor Jackson.
And Trevor's really having a nice 2022 season, the 6'2", 190-pound right-handed pitcher out of Las Vegas, Nevada, making his 8th appearance on the year. You can see no record, but 3.24 the ERA and 8 1/3 innings of work, 15 strikeouts, 10 walks on the year. But Trevor has not given up an earned run in a month since March the 13th against Rio Grande Valley. But his last 4 starts, he has not given up an earned run on the year. We're talking about 4 2/3 innings of work versus the likes of TCU, Tarleton, Lamar, and 2 innings this past weekend against Sam Houston. And Trevor will take over here, down by 1 on the scoreboard here in the top of the 3rd.
Almost 2 strikeouts every inning he's out there, and so it's been an impressive showing for the veteran right-hander. He's going to face 3, 4, and 5 in the UTA lineup. Nick Pierce, a loud bat, hit his first homer of the season in the first inning. He sends this one deep to left. Staley's back on it, and on to the warning track he goes for out number 1.
Well, Nick Pierce feeling good. First pitch
Right.
swinging, and hey, that's opposite field into, again, a wind pushing out to left field, and almost followed up home run number 1 on the season with home run number 2. Staley in left field, boy, fighting that sun as it sets to the west. The left side of the field is really having to fight that sun. We saw it in the bottom of the second with Zach Henry. Here, Staley able to fight the sun off and make the catch right on the warning track.
Ball 1 to Wilson Galvan. Popped out to short in the first inning. Well, it's a UTA team that's in their final season in the Sun Belt Conference because they are going to join the likes of Abilene Christian, and amongst others, they're going to head to the WAC in the 22 summer going into next fall. So UTA in the spring of 23 will be playing ACU in conference series, renewing, or well, maybe forming what could be some sort of I-20 rivalry between these two teams. This is going to be meeting number 13 here tonight, all time between these two, with UTA leading the series 8-4.
A little more Texas flavor. Of course, this year 13 teams in the WAC. 6 of those are Texas and the other 7 out to the west.
That'll hit Galvan, so he's aboard with 1 out. Yeah, it's interesting because Incarnate Word from San Antonio, former Southland rival member, is coming to the WAC as well. So that league is really just went head first into the state of Texas.
Zach, we can close the line on Sam Berberich, the starter tonight for the Wildcats. He goes the first 2 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, did have 2 strikeouts, no walks. 40 pitches, 26 of those were strikes. Nice start for Sam. Did give up the 3 runs and the 5 hits, but able to, again, strand 2 both in scoring position there in that second inning.
I think that 0 in the walk column will be what Rick McCarty really pays attention to. Zach Henry's 0 for 1. Struck out to end the first inning against Berberich, now facing Jackson. And a ball and a strike.
We can go back to Jackson again. He went 2 innings against Sam Houston this weekend. No runs, no hits, 4 strikeouts. His best outing of the year. Did go 2 innings against TCU, a midweek game here in Abilene on March 22nd. No runs, 1 hit. And those his longest outings are 2 innings. So look for Trevor if he could stay in command here to work the 3rd and the 4th, maybe into the 5th, depending on how things are going.
You imagine pitch count will probably be the biggest determining factor of what goes on tonight. Obviously, if it's a big inning or some sort where you'll make a change, but if they can make through the innings fairly clean. Henry fouls that off to stay alive, 3-2. ACU playing home game number 24 on the season. 31 in their home park this year. Ground ball. It's going to be Hill to take care of the first out. Well done with Randall really up the middle at short. Bryson Hill able to grab it, and there's 2 away.
Well, give a lot of credit to Hill there. That's a kind of a, I don't know if that's a hit and run or a fake hit and run. You won't be able to see there on the replay, but Galvan, who was at first, faked an attempt to steal. When he does, Randall breaks to the second base bag from his shortstop position. It's a ball they're trying to hit the opposite way. Henry's trying to hit the opposite way in that open hole that Randall is now opening because he's covering second. A long run for Hill, as you'll see here. There's the fake. Hill, a long run. He's at the shortstop position, able to get there, and his momentum taking him to second base where they'll get the lead runner. Nice job there by Hill. Good look at it there from our ACUTV crew.
Oh, it got away, and Tweed couldn't find it. It was actually almost on home plate. Down to second with a wild pitch goes Henry. So 2 outs in the inning, and Tyler Rice, who grounded out to first an inning ago, is standing in. UTA scored their run in the second inning with 2 outs. And now a runner in scoring position here.
Here's a ball that just gets away from Tweed. He blocks it well, but he can't find it. He pushed it out in front, but just couldn't find it. And heads up base running by by Henry to get down the line.
Shoots that one foul.
Zach, again, another critical at bat now with Henry at second base. Already 2 stranded, both in scoring position in the second. Another critical at bat here. You know, when you talk about this matchup here between Jackson and Rice, can the Wildcats strand another runner in scoring position? Can the Mavericks get another 2-out RBI single like they did in the second? Well, I love it. Trevor's pounding fastballs right now. The approach seems good tonight from Wildcat pitchers. Let's find the zone.
Yeah, I think especially in a game like this, go into it thinking you're going to have to score some runs. But if you just throw strikes and get hit, kudos to the team that hits you. You know, just don't walk them. And I think that's the focus of both of these head coaches here tonight. Called strike 3. Trevor Jackson, scoreless top of the third. UTA doesn't score for the first time in the ball game. 3-2, middle of inning number 3. Take a look at the WAC Southwest Division standing. 6-team division. This is your conference schedule. You're only playing these teams. ACU tied for third with UTRGV. The Vaqueros took 2 out of 3 from ACU earlier this year.
Well, halfway home, Zach. 15 down, 15 to go. And, boy, it's tight. I mean, it's a competitive conference, no doubt. Wildcats still with some work to do as the top 4 of 6 will make the WAC tournament.
On a hop from Mitchell Dixon, and Kason Gregory takes care of it, and there's one very quick out for Jack Hagan and UT Arlington.
Well, Hagan's 29 pitches through 2 innings of work, the 2 runs on the 3 hit, the Bash Randall 2-run home run, the 1 mistake that Hagan's made in the first 2 innings, 1 strikeout, no walks. Good first career start here for Hagan on the mound.
Tatro, and then Colton Eager for Abilene Christian. Takes a strike, and he was called out on strikes in the first inning. .281 for the season. Ton of power from this center fielder.
Yeah, the team leader in home runs, as you mentioned, 24-game on-base streak.
Foul ball off of him again for the second straight at bat. Tatro slugging .541. Team leading 8 homers. He'd love to get into one here.
We talk about a guy who has the respect of the Mavericks and power. Tanner Rice at second base is playing about 20 feet in the outfield grass. Granted, it's all turf, but he's playing 20 feet past the last step of the infield dirt. Give himself a little bit more reaction time on a Tatro ball.
Swing and a miss. Tatro 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And in the last 6 games now for Tatro, he is now 4 for 20.
Well, Hagan again, what a good pitch here. Off-speed pitch high in the zone, tailing away. Tatro trying to protect with the 2 strikes and can't do it. Down for the second time on strikeout. Both of Hagan's strikeouts tonight. Grayson Tatro.
Colton Eager with 2 down to the bases empty. We talked about this, his first at bat, as he drives this one into center, and it is going to end the inning. Another 1-2-3. Hagan's had no problem with this part of the order for ACU. It's a 3-2 ball game, and we're in the middle of the 4th. You're watching WAC Baseball on ESPN. Well, we talked about the WAC standings. How about the Sun Belt? Good league. Georgia State there at the top, having a good season. And then we talked about, Texas State being one of the stories of the season. They don't even have double-digit losses yet. Yeah, UTA down there at 4-8. This is a really good mid-major league.
Well, as Georgia State just took 2 out of 3 in San Marcos versus Texas State to get the 1-game lead there in the Sun Belt standings. But both of those teams playing well. Georgia State, Texas State. UTA, man, a competitive league, still trying to battle through and get some more wins on the year.
1 pitch, 1 out in the 4th. Trevor Jackson, second inning out of the bullpen, and a ground out to first from Matt Lumsden. And there's 1 very quick out here as Sam Crowell will bat. It's 7, 8, 9 in the order for the Mavericks, and Jackson back out once again for ACU.
Jackson just 17 pitches in that 3rd inning, stranded the 3rd Maverick runner in scoring position tonight. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 4th.
And ball 1 to Crowell, who doubled in the 2nd inning, and been a guy who just had struggled to swing the bat a little bit, but got back on track a little bit, and see if this sparks a little bit of a run for the UTA catcher. He's ahead 2-0. 14th start of the year for Crowell. Foul ball sharply behind home plate.
Off the facade of our press box here. Thought you make a play on that one. Just
reaching the hand up, yeah. Oh, in on the shoulder blades. Jackson's hit his second batter. One on, one out, Case and Gregory.
Shortstop number 2, Case Gregory.
Second free pass, as you mentioned, both on hit by a pitch here by Jackson. Chance for the Wildcat defense to turn a double play. They've done it 40 times this year.
And a cold strike to Gregory, who had a 2-out RBI single in the second inning. He made it 3-0. ACU answered with 2 in the home second on the Bash Randall home run. A ball and a strike. Foul ball. So this is the second time in 2 innings that UTA had been hit by a pitch. So Galvan was hit in the third, and Crowell hit here in the fourth. This is the team that's number 1 in the WAC at getting hit by the pitch. This is now 55 times this year that they've been hit.
Take one for the team, but I don't know about 55 for
It's a
the
lot.
team. What are we doing here?
That's a lot. Ground ball to third. Hill is going to get 1. Will they get 2? Yeah, they do. 5-4-3. Trevor Jackson for Abilene Christian. Good work. And the double play ends at 3-2 UT Arlington. Middle of the fourth. 3-2 UTA going down into the dugout there. Darren Thomas. Doesn't he know he's on camera? I tell you what. Here's a guy who's been around forever. 15 seasons at UTA. Just got his 400th career win last week.
That's a heck of a milestone. That tells you something. That's a lot of baseball and a lot of successful baseball. 400. Congrats, Coach Thomas, on 400 last week.
Well, he's been the head coach since 2008 at UTA, but became an assistant in 2001. 2 decades over there in Arlington as the head man in the dugout. And ball 1 to Tanner Tweed for Abilene Christian. 3-2 ball game in the home fourth. Middle of this Wildcat lineup with Tweed, Randall, and Hill. It's really been fun to watch Jack Hagan take advantage of his first opportunity to get a career start.
Yeah, just 36 pitches thus far for Hagan through 3 innings.
Rick McCarty on the other side, fourth-year head coach of Abilene Christian, took over a program that wasn't very good in the Division I era. When they moved up in 2014, he takes over. His first spring is 2019, and he's just been a winner. His second real season, won a conference championship in the Southland.
Yeah, 36-21 a year ago, 25-13 in that 40-game conference schedule. A couple of games canceled due to weather, but 25-13 in the Southland Conference regular season championship last year.
A walk to Tanner Tweed, and now McCarty trying to kind of right the ship a little bit. This is kind of uncharted territory. This team hasn't lost 5 in a row much, under his tenure.
Yeah, it's a unique setup this year for the Wildcats. The Southland Conference Championship, everybody back. Well, with the majority of, at least the batting lineup, lost a few arms last year, but you're talking about the preseason conference favorite in the WAC in their first year, and it's been a bumpy road, but still a lot of baseball to go.
It's the beauty of the sport, isn't it? Called strike to Bash Randall, who hit the 2-run homer in the second inning.
As a matter of fact, Zach, we were looking back a year ago at this Wildcat team who won the regular season Southland Conference Championship, and at the midway point where we are this year in 2022, the Wildcats were 500. They were 10-10. Right now they're 7-8, a 30-game conference schedule this year compared to the 40-game last year. But 10-10 a year ago at the halfway point, a non-conference weekend schedule out of town. Last year at University of Texas in Austin, this year headed to Fresno State this weekend. And after that, boy, it really clicked for the Wildcats. They finished 15-3 in conference play to go from 8th place in the conference to winning the conference. It was a magical run. Now, it was a difficult run, and whether or not that can be done again, time will tell over the next 5 weeks. But it tells you what this team is capable of because, again, 1 through 9, all the bats are back. Majority of the arms are back as well, and it's a team that can win a lot of baseball games.
Randall in the air to right. Galvan. It's been busy here tonight for UTA, and that's the first out of the home fourth.
They walked to Tweed, the first free pass by Hagan, and now 3 1/3 innings of work. And I believe, I'll go check, I believe this is now the longest outing for Hagan on the year.
He's been fun to watch tonight.
He did have a 3 2/3 against South Alabama, so 1 out away from matching his longest outing of the season.
And again, those are all out of the bullpen. This is his first start. A sophomore out of McKinney, Texas. Playing right there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Arlington at UTA. Ball 1 to Bryson Hill. It's weird to think about ACU in a way because it's a new conference, ground ball fell, but it's a lot of the same teams. Sam Houston and Lamar and SFA, and then you add, Tarleton and UTRGV to the mix. The weird part about the schedule is you don't see the other side of the league until the conference tournament. It's a setup that I've really never seen before in college baseball.
It's unique in baseball. I must say it's a unique setup in baseball, and it gives you, I don't know if it gives you a full feel of what the conference is like when you look on the other side. Of course, it's Grand Canyon who's starting to run away with that West Division after a sweep of Dixie State this weekend. And Grand Canyon, a great week. They beat Texas Tech in 2-game midweek last week, a 5-0 week last week for Grand Canyon. But again, when you look, it's 6 teams in the Southwest Division, 7 in the West. It's a balanced schedule. Everybody plays everybody 6 times in the Southwest, but unbalanced in the West.
In a right center field, that goes. Bryson Hill has his first hit tonight. Tweed heads to third, and ACU puts runners at the corners with 1 down here in the fourth, and the batter will be Brett Hammett.
Well, second time through the lineup, Wildcats starting to figure out Hagan on the mound a little bit. Good piece of hitting there rope that one into right center field over the head of Tanner Rice there at second base. Good base running by Tweed to go first to third. Runners on the corners, just one out here in the bottom of the fourth.
So the top of the order is 0 for 6. The middle is 3 for 5 with a walk against Hagan. And now Brett Hammett. Rick McCarty told me that he is constantly amazed how far Brett Hammett can hit a baseball. So much power. Typically the 8-hitter tonight hitting in the 7 spot. He flew out to center in the second.
See if the Wildcats get the wheels turning here. 41 stolen bases and 55 attempts on the year. As you mentioned, Kroll to start at catcher tonight for the Mavericks. Not your typical starting catcher. He gets to start tonight. Kroll's only thrown out 2 runners in 21 attempts. Runners on the corners here. We'll see if Coach McCarty gets aggressive.
It's interesting to think that all last week ACU just went 1 for 4 in stolen bases. A team that's been, well, now last spring it wasn't a part of their MO very much, but this year it's been a big part of what they've done with their offense. Last week, not so much.
Well, 3-0 count here. I was thinking take sign. Yep.
It was a take sign, and it was a strike.
Yeah, Hammett thought it might have been a little tight, but strike call for Hagan. A little action down in the UTA bullpen. So Hagan starting to labor a little bit, and the Mavericks starting to get arms ready.
Is that fair? It is a fair ball. Down the line, 1 run in. Hill's going to score 2, and it is a 2-run double for Brett Hammett. I could not tell right away what they ruled that.
Well, I will tell you that Darren Thomas is out of the UTA dugout, and I will tell you, Zach, I thought down the line it was fair. There's no chalk, obviously, but I thought it was fair. But the first indicator of the home plate umpire was both hands in the air,
right,
which indicates foul. And because of that, Zach Henry, the left fielder, kind of gave up on the ball, finally went to retrieve it down in the corner, but Hammett at first base with great speed comes around and scores all the way from first, and that will have the conversation. That will bring up the conversation here for the umpires. But again, I thought off the bat it was fair. But the first indicator of the home plate umpire was both hands in the air, which is the foul indicator, and then changed to the fair ball call, and it looks like it'll go as a 2-run double, and the Wildcats play with the lead.
Wow, that was a bizarre double, but it stands, and Abilene Christian's in front for the first time tonight. And now a conversation at the mound with Jack Hagan, and that's actually going to be it for the right-hander tonight as he works his way into the fourth, but stops at 3 1/3. It's a pitching change for UTA. We'll get you the new pitcher in a moment. 4-3 Abilene Christian.
Hagan just ran out of gas here in this fourth inning of work, and he'll hand the ball off to Ryan Thomas, who's been impressive this year. The redshirt junior out of Mansfield, making his 5th appearance on the year. The record that we have is no record thus far on the year. The ERA is at 0, an opponent batting average of .083.
Wow.
He's given up just no runs, 1 hit on the year. Just four appearances on the year, but we're talking 3 2/3 innings of work. He'll inherit a runner at second base, just 1 out, and the Wildcats play with the lead for the first time here at 4-3.
Yeah, Brett Hammett with a, I want to say unconventional double. It appeared that the home plate umpire had called it foul, but they end up going fair ball at ACU, a 2-run double to jump in front 4-3. And now Hammett's taken off for third. He'll go in very easily with that stolen base. You wanted to see a little more movement on the base paths.
I don't think Thomas ever looked at him. Of course, Thomas's first pitch here, I don't think he ever looked back at Hammett, who broke immediately. It was an off-speed pitch down in the dirt. No chance for Kroll behind the plate to throw out Hammett at third base.
So Hunter Geezer, who singled through the right side in the second inning, has a chance. He had a good weekend against Sam Houston as well, hitting .400 with a double and 2 homers against the Bearcats. And now he drives one in the air to right. Galvan, he's got it. Hammett's gonna tag. The throw's cut off. Another run for Abilene Christian, 3 in the inning to lead at 5-3 on the Geezer sac fly.
Batting up 42.
Yep, that'll go again as a sacrifice fly and an RBI. Big run there. That's a bit of a mistake there by Tyler Rice, the first baseman, who cuts off the throw coming in. No reason to cut that throw off. I don't think it gets there in time anyway, but there's no other runners on the base pass. And there you can see Hammett coming in, and the throw's cut off, and it's an easy head first slide and run number 5 tonight.
Staley fouls it off. I'm very surprised that was cut off.
Yeah, no reason to. No other runners on the base pass there. I don't think the throw's going to get there. It's not going to get there in the air. It would take a bounce or 2 to get there. But either way you look at it, no reason to really cut that one off.
Staley in the air to left. The sun has been the battle for Zach Henry. He's got this one to end the inning, but a 3 spot for the Wildcats, and they've got their first lead of the ball game tonight. 4 innings in the books. Abilene Christian up 5-3. Fans in the stands tonight at Crutcher Scott Field. Top of inning number 5. That's the ACU softball team who just got done playing UT Arlington and comes across campus from the other side of the football stadium to watch the baseball players take on the same school, UT Arlington. And Abilene Christian has a 5-3 lead in the top of the 5th. Trevor Jackson out again. And he's got ball 1 to the top of this Maverick order. Rice, Montgomery, and Pierce.
26 pitches for 2 innings of relief thus far for Jackson into his 3rd inning of work.
Down the line, that's foul.
Just the 2 hit batters No runs, no hits for Jackson.
Yeah, what's impressed you most about him? It just feels like he's been pretty fearless out there
Well,
tonight.
again, attacking the strike zone. I think that's been the biggest thing. The first time through the lineup for UTA, 4 for 9 first time through the lineup. Jackson comes in the second time through, just 1 for 9. That's second time through the lineup. But now these guys will see Jackson for a second time. How will the Mavericks adjust coming through second time through the lineup?
Tanner Rice is 1 for 2. And now it's count even at 2-2 after the swing and a miss. Tanner and Tyler both playing, both starting for UTA out of Mesa, Arizona, Red Mountain High School. Swing and a miss. Trevor Jackson with a strikeout to start the 5th.
What good pitch there. Boy, Trevor's just in control. He likes his availability of pitches. He likes his sequence of pitches here. Look at that. He's going out of the zone. That's a full count. He's going out of the zone there. And that's a great pitch. As Rice just chases it, and he can't get it, and it's first strikeout of the night for Jackson.
Ball 1 to Boone Montgomery.
Zach Quinn closed the line on Jack Hagan, the starter for the Mavericks tonight. 3 1/3 innings of work, 5 runs, all earned, 5 hits. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. 52 pitches of work for Jack Hagan.
Playable in foul territory for Geezer. 2 down.
The center fielder, number 19, Nick Pierce.
So far, Jackson is exactly what the doctor ordered for Abilene Christian, coming in here in middle inning relief. ACU has found multiple ways to lose some games, though. I mean, they've really, it was interesting. Obviously, when you lose 21-0 on Saturday, nothing goes right. But there were times on Sunday they led 8-3 and then ended up losing 11-8 in that ball game against the Sam Houston Bearcats. And so if it's, or you get down early in a game and have to fight your way back, it's a lot to overcome. And so having a guy come in like what Trevor Jackson has done, that is a big sigh of relief for the coaching staff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we've seen this in games this year. Tyler Morgan's had some great games. He had a 7 1/3 inning outing against Lamar. Of course, Garrett Egley 2 weeks ago. We were in Fort Worth against TCU, and Garrett goes 4 innings to start, and he sets the table for the rest of the pitching staff. And I think it exudes confidence even on the offensive side. When your pitchers are in control, it takes a little pressure off of the offense on the other side when you come up to bat. And we've seen that here as an early 3-0 deficit's turned into a 5-3 lead.
And a strikeout to end it. That's a 13-pitch inning for Trevor Jackson and a 1-2-3 fifth. Halfway home tonight, 5-3 ACU. This was the strikeout to end the inning from Trevor Jackson in the top half. Abilene Christian in front of UT Arlington 5-3. Zach Carlisle and Andy Penny, glad to have you with us tonight on ESPN Plus for WAC Baseball. Will King and the ACUTV gang in the studio directing the traffic. Mitchell Dixon with a 1-1 count. ACU's got the top of the order up against Ryan Thomas. And it's 2 balls and a strike to the ACU leadoff man.
Well, let's give credit to the bottom part of the ACU lineup. And you mentioned it earlier, Zach, the top 3, Dixon, Tatro, and Eager, combined 0 for 6 first 2 times through. But 5 of the last 6 in the lineup already with a hit tonight, and they've generated 5 runs of offense.
Thomas bounces that one in, and those 6 at-bats were all against Jack Hagan, who has a little bit of an unfortunate line. All 5 of those runs get charged to him after the 2-run double for Hammett against Thomas, but Thomas out for a clean inning. And he's got a full count to Dixon. UTA led 3-0 in the middle of the second, but ACU with 2 in the home half and 3 in the home fourth. To jump in front by 2. And a leadoff walk to Dixon, and he's aboard for the first time tonight.
Thomas's slap of the glove there on the payoff pitch is one that
The
he
center
didn't
fielder, number
like.
22,
Bounced it
Grayson
in for ball
Tatro.
4. Slap of the glove there for Thomas. Leadoff man on here for the Wildcats in the 5th.
Dixon now on base for the 9th consecutive game. Grayson Tatro, 2 strikeouts tonight. Feels like this is kind of the missing piece right now for ACU. If they get Tatro going, that lineup extends itself and becomes extra dangerous. Here comes Darren Thomas.
I don't know if Ryan Thomas, the pitcher, hurt himself as the trainer comes out too.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, on that
That's a pitching change.
on that payoff pitch, 3-2 to Dixon, was something just didn't look right as he bounced that one in, and then he starts off Tatro with one that bounces into.
Pointing just below his shoulder. That's it for Thomas. Never want to see that. You hope the left-hander's all right. Something not right there with the left arm of Thomas. Pitching change due to injury.
Your attention,
UTA
please. Now
here in
pitching
the
for
bottom
UT
of the 5th
Mavericks,
inning.
number 18,
Hope Thomas is all right.
Satelli.
5-3 Abilene Christian in the 5th. Well, due to injury, Kate Satelli is going to get an opportunity out of the bullpen for UT Arlington. Darren Thomas had to make a move. He's going to the right-hander.
Yeah, we'll check on Ryan Thomas, try to get you an update on him. But it's Kate Satelli, the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Mavericks. Redshirt freshman out of Prosper, Texas, 6'3", 195, making his 10th appearance. He's made 5 starts on the year, but is now coming out of the bullpen in relief for appearance number 10. He's 0-3 on the year, 12.5 the ERA, 18 innings of work, 25 earned runs in that time, 18 strikeouts, 15 walks, an opponent batting average of .309. He'll inherit a runner at first base, nobody out, in a 1-0 count. Here to Grayson Tatro until he steps in. His longest outing of the year, 4 innings of work against Michigan. That was early in the year, his first outing of the year. 4 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. Great start, but has struggled as of late. His latest outing was just last week, the 6th, the midweek game versus Tarleton. 2 innings of work, 5 earned runs on 3 hits, 4 walks, a strikeout versus Tarleton.
So the count 1-0. And now 2 balls to Tatro. Yeah, I think the alarming part, obviously the opponent batting average of .309, way too high, but the 15 walks in 18 innings, that's a little bit too high as well for Satelli. So a chance here to figure some things out here on a Tuesday in non-conference action before you turn the tables to the 19th ranked team in the country this weekend at Texas State. And a guy at the plate who's trying to get hot as well. 4 for his last 21, Grayson Tatro.
We'll see if he gets the green light here, 3-0. Satelli pitching him inside first 2 pitches.
Not there. And for Satelli, it's a 3-pitch walk, but it's a 4-pitch walk to Tatro. And this is the reason why Satelli's in the game. Thomas, the lefty, that final pitch of his outing, you could tell he was looking at that left arm.
Yeah, left arm, even kind of the index finger and the thumb. He was rubbing the index finger and the thumb together on that left side. Thomas only threw 15 pitches tonight before that final one that ended his night. It's a dangerous spot here. 2 on, nobody out in the WAC preseason. One of the WAC preseason players of the year, I believe, here in Colton Eager.
Correct. The Southland hitter of the year in 2021. First 2 walks aboard here in the 5th. Eagers had quick at-bats, so I feel like I haven't been able to talk much about him. But last week, hit .368, a homer, a couple of doubles. One of the bright spots for the Wildcats during the troublesome 0-5 week. Eager's been kind of the mainstay in right field.
Still leads the WAC in doubles with 14.
That is to first. Oh, a bobble, and then the out still able to be recorded. Tyler Rice had plenty of time. Runners will move up. 2 on, 1 out, and the batter, Tanner Tweed.
The catcher, number 41.
A good pick by Rice there, although he bobbled it, able to make the play just inside the line, touch the bag. Eager does a job and move up both runners into scoring position. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. And Wildcats need to take advantage here. The Mavericks will pull the infield in here. They want to cut off home plate and keep this at a 2-run deficit if possible. They'll play all the way around on the first step of the infield dirt.
Tweed hitting .429 this year with runners in scoring position. Opportunity for ACU. Trouble for Satelli. Responsible for Tatro at second base, and a called strike to Tweed.
Well, this is the part of the lineup that's been effective tonight. Tweed, Randall, Hill, Hammett, Geezer, 4 through 8, all already with a hit. One of their first 2 at-bats. RBI opportunity here for Tweed.
Tweed's 1 for 1 with a walk, a double. In the second, he scored 2 runs. Behind 0-2. Really solidified that catching position for ACU. Dixon doesn't have to do it every day, and Tweed can go back there. They'll DH Tweed as well. They love having both of those guys in the lineup. You see Dixon, who's the everyday catcher, there at third base. A swing and a miss. Big second out for Satelli and a strikeout.
Boy, that's a huge minor victory. Put an asterisk by that. If the Mavericks get out of this inning. Second, third, less than 2 outs. Pull the infield in. Satelli has to do a job. Boy, just blows a fastball by Tweed there. Allows the defense to go back to normal playing position. Trying to get out of this inning with no damage done.
Bash Randall's done some damage already tonight. He's got 2 more on base with a chance. Send a 2-run homer out in the second inning. 2 on, 2 out, and ball 1.
Well, no 2 walks in the inning here with Dixon and Tatro out on the base pass, but the top 3 of the lineup go through without a hit again. So 0 for 7 now, the top 3 in the lineup with the 2 walks and the 2 on the base pass.
Randall really needed that homer too. He was 2 for 12 over the weekend against Sam Houston, including an 0 for 5 Friday night. He's just hitting 194 this year with runners in scoring position. I think the situational hitting has been a little bit different this spring than it was a season ago for Abilene Christian. Hard to keep up what they did last year. That offense was so unbelievably dynamic. That's up the middle and through for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score. Dixon and Tatro, and 2 more RBI tonight for Bash Randall. It's 7-3, Abilene Christian.
Great piece of hitting on a off-speed pitch that Randall waits on. He sees it out of the glove. He waits for it to get in the zone. He hits it right back up the box. Good try by Gregory, the shortstop, with a dive, but he comes up empty. Runners on the move with 2 outs in the inning, and both easily score. We put an asterisk in the top of the second when UTA had runners at second and third and 2 out, and Burbridge, the pitcher for ACU, won that battle. Put an asterisk by that same play, runners at second and third in the inning with 2 outs. But this time the Wildcat Bats able to win. So that's 2 that were stranded by the Mavericks, second and third in the second, 2 that score for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the 5th.
Bryson Hill, the batter, now for ACU. He singled and scored an inning ago. Middle innings have been big for these Wildcats. 5 of their 7 runs over the last 2 innings. Hill sends one in the air, left center field, going back to the wall. It is gone. Bryson Hill, touch 'em all home run number 5. ACU's exploded with a 9-3 lead.
Took it the opposite way into the jet stream tonight, leaving the ballpark to the left side of the field. And yeah, home run number 5, RBIs number 15 and 16, all with 2 outs here in the inning. Well, Hill just waited on it and drilled it, runner on the move on the play, but it does not matter. They can run all the way around, touch them all, Bryson Hill.
Quick trip around the bases for Hill, his 5th homer. That looks like a different dugout right now for Abilene Christian. Brett Hammett stands in, and he's swinging away, and 0-1.
So Randall with 4 RBIs on the night, had the 2-out single, and then scored for Hill, who's now 2 for 3 with the 2 RBIs.
Outside from Satelli. A 4 spot here in the 5th. On just the 2 hits, the back-to-back knocks for Randall, and then Hill with the blast.
Maverick pitching has walked 3 on the night, 2 here in the 5th, and both of those came around all the way to score.
Hammett, a swing and a miss. They'll throw down to win the inning, but 4 in the frame. Damage done for the Wildcats, and after 5, it's ACU in front 9-3 on a Tuesday night. These two teams played on March the 15th in Arlington. All Mavericks, 14-2. It's not 14-2, but it's 9-3 ACU tonight, so flip the tables. It's been all ACU.
Yeah, role reversal tonight as the Wildcats have the 9-3 lead. And Zach, it's really been the story of this Wildcat team. We've talked about 4 3-game winning streaks, 4 3-game losing streaks on the year. And most amazing stat to me on this year, you typically see what's the record in 1-run ball games, what's the record in 2-run ball games. This is a Wildcat team that has 17 games this year that the final score has been 4 runs or more. 17.
Wow.
The flair for the dramatic has not been around much this year for the Wildcats. They're 8-9 in those 17 games, but a spread of 4 runs or more. So games really haven't come down to the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings for the Wildcats this year. And the good thing, if you're a Wildcat fan here on a Tuesday night, you've got the +6 on the scoreboard as we go to the top of the 6th.
Yeah, you need to blow teams out to have chances. Wilson Galvan, Zach Henry, Tyler Rice, the middle of the Maverick order against Trevor Jackson, who's just been brilliant tonight for ACU out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
He came in the 3rd inning, and he's out for his 4th inning of work out of the bullpen.
Has not allowed a hit tonight. 38 pitches through his 3 innings, no runs, no hits. Struck out 3, he has hit 2 batters. That's the only downside tonight, but no runs, no hits through 3 innings of relief of Sam Berberich, the starter tonight.
ACU is minus. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Ground ball to 3rd. Bryson Hill's got it, and the throw is in time. A bullet from Hill across the diamond for out number 1. That's a great play. He's made a couple of plays at 3rd tonight that have been pretty good.
Boy, he really has. This one he has to wait on a chop, but he's able to get there. As you can see Jackson watch him make the play. Good, strong throw across. You need that from your 3rd baseman, no doubt, and he makes it there. Maybe the best play of the night is a ball he had to range well to his left in the hole at shortstop almost as Randall was covering the second base bag on a ball hit that way, but he goes to his left, makes the play, and gets to second to get the lead runner. There, a good strong throw across the diamond, 5-3 on the putout.
Inside to Zach Henry. He wasn't afraid to try to take a hit by pitch. ACU's -5 for the season in the 4th and 5th inning combined. Tonight, +7. 3 in the 4th and 4 in the 5th. And Jackson is ahead 1-2.
And it all comes back to pitching. And we've talked
Always.
about that. The consistency of pitching dictates the success of the team. And it's just been the inconsistency of pitching for the Wildcats. The arms are there. There's no doubt that the arms are there, and I think they're deep. We've seen Garrett Egley. We've seen Tanner Riley, Connor Carlton. I mean, there's plenty of names that you can call upon. It's just a matter of consistency when you get out there, and we're seeing that tonight with Berberich and Jackson.
Ground ball to 3rd, testing Hill again. Another strong throw, 2 down.
When I tell you, I don't know if we'll get a replay of that one, but that ball had some English on it. As Hill's charging that and it hits the turf, it takes an awkward roll, awkward hop. And right at the last second, Hill has to kind of change directions. He's playing it glove side on the left side, and that ball with some spin, he has to move the glove all the way over to the right of his right leg and make that play, then readjust, throw across, and he does it. Back-to-back 5-3 putouts here in the 7th, or excuse me, in the 6th.
Ball 1 to Tyler Rice, who is 0 for 2 tonight, but he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. So it was a hit by pitch to Sam Crowell. Outside, and really, it's been 2 hit by pitches that have been the base runners against Jackson tonight, as he misses and it's ball 3. And then outside of that, he has taken care of things. So a double play ended the 4th inning. So it's been 6 straight retired in that regard. And now that ends with his first walk given up tonight. Rice will take first with 2 down.
And if I remember, it was
number 16,
Tanner Rice in the 2nd, the leadoff man in the 2nd, That's the last Maverick hit, I believe.
That is correct. He singled in the second inning.
I believe that's the last one. Here, Montgomery, second time through. Can't remember.
Yep, that's it. It was Tanner Rice's single. Gregory had the RBI single to score Crowell. Rice singled, and that's been it. As far as hits goes, they've had 3 base runners since. One here in the 6th with 2 down for Matt Lumsden.
We mentioned Gregory and Montgomery both have extended their hitting streaks to 6. That's the current team lead for the Mavericks. It's both of those guys with hits tonight.
55th pitch for Jackson coming up. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And I like the fact Coach McCarty's stretching Jackson tonight. He's pitching well. The pitch count, yeah, it's up in the 50s, but you know you extended your staff this past week with 5 games, and if Jackson's on a roll, let's rest some arms tonight and let Jackson do his thing.
Swing and a miss. Trevor Jackson. That is 4 scoreless for the senior right-hander. Abilene Christian with a comfortable 9-3 lead in the middle of the 6th. A different Wildcat dugout tonight. They lead it 9-3. 5-game losing streak and taking on a UTA team that beat them by 12 runs a month ago, but ACU with a 9-3 cushion in the bottom of inning number 6.
Kudos to Trevor Jackson in relief. 4 innings of work. Now his longest outing in a Wildcat uniform in 2 seasons. 4 innings of work tonight. No runs, no hits. 1 walk, 2 hit batters as well, but 4 strikeouts for Trevor Jackson. Came in the top of the 3rd. Wildcats trailed on the scoreboard 3-2 at the time. They lead 9-3 now.
Hunter Geezer. A single and a sac fly tonight. It's been really good as of late. We mentioned how good he was against Sam Houston the 400 weekend. Couple of homers. When Geezer's good, he's really good for Abilene Christian. He showed that with 5 home runs, 10 hits in the Southland Conference tournament last year in Hammond, Louisiana. That's a 4-pitch walk to lead off the home 6th for ACU.
He's already extended his hitting streak to 8 tonight. With the single, and the Wildcats had the leadoff man on again. We saw back-to-back walks to start the 6th. Both of those runners scored, and now, to start the 5th. Both of those walk to start the 5th, and now leadoff man Geezer walks here to start the 6th.
Aaron Staley, 0 for 2, couple of flyouts tonight. Takes a called strike. So Staley comes over, a new addition out of Sugar Grove, Illinois. Started at Iowa Western Community College. Comes over to ACU. They love his speed and his bat. He played the outfield, and the ACU outfield's really talented, and so they've tried to piece him into the lineup as a DH or get some spot starts. Taking off Geezer, he is out. Thrown out at second. Good tag by Gregory, the shortstop, for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, nice play. This is a scouting report decision here. Kroll behind the plate, just 2 of 21 throwing out runners, but jumps up out of the stance in a hurry. A nice tag on a bang-bang play. First out here of the bottom of the 6th.
Now Staley, who's behind 0-2.
Zach, we can close the line on Ryan Thomas, who came in relief, as we'll look at that replay one more time.
Yeah, it was close. Did he get the tag down? Where's the foot?
Oh, he blocked the foot.
Blocked it with his cleat.
Yep.
That is great work from Gregory. This one's in the air to left field, into left center field, rather, as Henry grabs it. And just like that, two outs here in the 6th.
And we'll close that line on Ryan Thomas, the first reliever for the Mavericks. Just went 2/3 of an inning. Again, he was pulled after 15 pitches. Something wrong with the left arm or the left throwing hand. Was pulled after 15 pitches. 2/3 of an inning, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks in his time. Did not give up any hits, but the 2 walks both came in to score. That was Dixon and Tatro at the top of the lineup.
Speaking of Dixon at the top of the lineup, here he is. The ACU junior catcher out of Flower Mound, Texas. He began his career at Pepperdine in California. Came back to his home state to play at ACU.
And the best mustache in the Western Athletic Conference, and probably beyond, if I were guessing.
I'd put that up with any in college baseball, right? Yeah, that thing is glorious. 2-1 to Dixon.
Not quite Raleigh finger status, but it's closing in on it.
It's got the handlebars
it's
there on the
getting
end,
there,
doesn't it?
Pulls out a little wax every morning, I'm assuming.
Yeah. we gotta get his treatment plan on the mustache. Ground ball up the middle. Nice diving stop.
Wow.
Oh, spectacular play by Kason Gregory to end the inning. Wow. 2 good plays at short by Gregory. Let's go to the 7th. 9-3 ACU. Well, Mitchell Dixon robbed of a hit to end the 6th inning. Watch this, Gregory. That's a spectacular play.
Well, I didn't even see it on the original. He doesn't field it cleanly with the glove, but as he's sliding, he picks it up with a bare hand, spins around and makes the play. It'll go 6-3 in the scorebook, but that's a beautiful looking 6-3 play there by Kason Gregory.
Carter Sells taking over on the mound after an outstanding outing from Trevor Jackson.
Yeah, we'll close the line on Jackson in a minute, but our third pitcher tonight, Carter Sells, the junior right-handed pitcher out of Brentwood, Tennessee, 6'2", 195 pounds. You can see the record there, 2-1, and now his 11th appearance of the year. Has a save on the year, 1.56 the ERA. That's a beautiful ERA there for Carter Sells. Opponent batting average of 209. He'll take over here in the top of the 7th.
Abilene Christian in front 9-3. Out hitting UTA 7-5. This one is in the air, and it is foul. Testing that right field corner. That went a lot further than I anticipated off the bat of Sam Crowell. Loud strike, 0-1.
We can close the line on Trevor Jackson again. 4 innings of relief. No runs, no hits in his 4 innings, 56 pitches for Trevor, 31 of those strikes. 1 walk, 2 hit batters, 4 strikeouts. All 3 of those were stranded. The 2 hit batters and the walk all stranded. No runs, no hits. The big numbers for Trevor Jackson in relief.
Quickly 0-2 from Carter Sells. He'll face 8-9-1 in the order for the Mavericks.
Carter's longest outing of the year, a 4-inning appearance versus Marist back on March the 4th. No runs, 1 hit that night against Marist. Most recent outing against Sam Houston this past weekend, inning and a third of work, no runs, 1 hit. An opponent batting average of .209.
And that one sharply hit through the left side for a leadoff single for Crowell here in the 7th. He has reached base 3 times tonight, 2 hits and a hit by pitch.
Yeah, good night for Crowell, who again is in a reserve role at catcher, getting an opportunity to get in the lineup tonight. And he's the first Maverick tonight with multiple hits.
He heard you talking about him.
No.
When he said he had struggled to hit the ball.
0 for 16 coming into tonight, and he's 2 for 2, 3 plate appearances, and been on base all 3 times.
And that's the first hit for UTA since the 2nd inning. Fly ball. Out of play. Kason Gregory, we talked about him in the top half, or in the bottom of the 6th rather, a couple of times. Nice play at second on a stolen base attempt where he was able to tag out Geezer. And then the great play to end the bottom of the 6th as well. Gregory is 1 for 2 tonight.
Getting the hitting streak at 6, currently the longest. He and Boone Montgomery have both extended their hitting streaks to 6. 8 straight games Gregory's been on the base pass. Now that's second currently behind Zach Henry with a current 11 game on base, but Henry has not been on the path tonight.
Leadoff man aboard. And this one in the air to right. Eager will go get it. And that's the first out of the inning. Gregory retired. Off we go to the top of the order with Tanner Rice.
The second baseman.
Okay, Zach, so when you look at this weekend, you're halfway through your conference schedule. You're going out of conference, road trip to Fresno State, work to be done in Western Athletic Conference play with 15 to go. What's the strategy this weekend? What are the takeaways from a weekend like this weekend? What do you call a successful weekend when you go out to Fresno State?
It's interesting because, you know, Fresno State out of the Mountain West, that's a good team. It's a really good team. It's ACU's first and only regular season trip out of the state of Texas until they head to the conference tournament in Mesa, Arizona. And so, to me, you have to get the pitching back on track, right, this weekend. And so I'm curious to see how long the leash is for the starters. Tyler Morgan, typically the Friday guy, had his worst outing of the year on Friday against Sam Houston. What do you see on Saturday and Sunday? Does Henry Cervantes continue to get the ball? Or does Adam Stevenson move his way back into the starting lineup? I'm curious as to what the pitching looks like and how long the starters can go, because the bullpen has just been used and taxed over the last couple of weeks. The 0-2. Out of play.
When you look ahead, a major difference from this year, last year, of course, last year, the ripple effects of COVID, there were no midweek games last year, but the Southland Conference went to 4-game weekend schedules, thus the 40-game conference schedule as opposed to this year's 30. But then you look ahead to next week, there is no midweek game next week when ACU is closing in on the back half of Western Athletic Conference play. So you get 3 this weekend, but then a midweek rest next weekend, and you'll hit the back half of WAC play with Rio Grande Valley comes to town next weekend with what I would think would be a pretty well-rested pitching staff.
In the air, right center field, and down. Tatro cuts it off. Heading to third is Crowell. That's a rip of a single there for Tanner Rice. He's got his second knock of the night. Runners at the corners with one out for UTA.
A good piece of hitting.
Number 6.
As Rice just drove that one into right center field. Give credit to Tatro, who cut that off before it skips through the gap to the wall. Holds Rice to a single. Good piece of running, though, by Crowell to go first to third. Runners on the corners with one out.
Boone Montgomery. Chance here for UT Arlington. And the unique part about this week, going back to the talk about Abilene Christian and this week, is they don't play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They do have Easter off. It's a quick turnaround. That is lined in the left, base hit. RBI single Boone Montgomery as Crowell scores. And the first run since the second inning for the Mavericks to make it 9-4.
Well, looking fastball there is Montgomery, and that's what he got. And he drove it just to the left of Bryson Hill. That ball was past him before Hill could really make a play on it. Third hit of the inning. And yeah, the Maverick bats have come back alive here in the seventh inning.
Yeah, they've hit Carter Sells pretty well after Jackson was so good. Innings 3 through 6. 3 hits in the frame for UTA. They're now out hitting ACU 8-7.
That'll get some moving around in the bullpen down behind the right field line for the Wildcats.
But the unique part about the weekend is it's not the full weekend.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and so it's a lot of baseball still in this jam-packed couple of weeks. And that one will get away. Oh, that might have hit the home plate umpire Doug McClure, and the runners are going to advance. And McClure took one there.
Well, I'm not sure if Tweed just missed that ball or what exactly happened. But it ricocheted well to the right over to the first base dugout. Not sure if Tweed just missed this. He sure did.
He just missed it. Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if that's they were on the wrong page, Sales and Tweed there, but Tweed had the glove down in the bottom part of the zone, and that pitch up over the shoulder. And Coach McCarty's going to come out by a little time. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, you'll see the glove down here for Tweed down the bottom part of the zone. That's just a fastball that he doesn't get the glove off.
Oh my gosh.
It's him right on the right bicep, it looked like. Boy, man alive.
And you've got the protection.
Yeah.
It doesn't cover the whole front. It kind of stops around the arm shoulder area. And I think that's where it hit. I think just outside of his protection.
Yeah, I thought it was on the bicep, but yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's just right outside of where that vest would end underneath his umpire's shirt. Oh, man, that had to hurt.
Coach McCarty going to do the level of respect here and come out and visit with his pitcher, Sales. But, yeah, again, you can see the glove well at the bottom portion of the zone. Holy cow.
I mean, you're talking about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that doesn't hit anything. It just hits you. That takes the wind out of you. They are not going to charge a mound visit to Rick McCarty there, by the way, it appears.
Nice sign of respect there, too, by Tweed to check on his umpire.
Well, Doug McClure, hopefully he's caught his breath and feeling okay. He's going to be a little pain as we had the final 3 innings here.
Runners did advance on the play, so now second and third as well.
That does turn into an advancement. And they will charge the pass ball to Tweed, which is the correct assessment there. And that is ball 2. Rice at third. Montgomery at second. In the air foul. And so for Tweed, that is his 5th pass ball of the season. And it's Nick Pierce who has put together Some good swings tonight. Obviously the home run in the first, but he had a very loud fly out in the third inning. 1 for 3. 3 balls and a strike.
It's the first time the blood pressure's really been up since the early innings. Here and again, we go back to the consistency of pitching. Sales has struggled here in his first inning of relief.
Abilene Christian had an 8-3 lead in the 6th inning on Sunday against Sam Houston. Lost that game 11-8. Ground ball grabbed by Geezer. A run's going to score. There's 2 out. And Pierce drives in his 3rd run of the night. The RBI ground out to get a run closer, 9-5.
That's a win-win type of play. Pierce puts the ball in play. Wildcats at this point in the game, in the top of the 7th inning, they'll trade a run for an out at this point. So Mavericks will take the run. Wildcats will take the out. Type of a win-win type of situation here at the top of the 7th.
Good job by Montgomery to get to 3rd as well. So 2 down.
Matthew Kavanaugh.
I think we have a pinch hitter here in this spot for Galvan. It's Kavanaugh that steps in.
And ball 1 downstairs. Matthew Kavanaugh, the redshirt sophomore out of Keller, Texas. Pinch hitting for Galvan in right field in the 4 spot. Kavanaugh's been battling injury. Weren't sure if we were going to see him tonight, but they'll give him a pinch hit at bat, and you figure he'll probably just move himself into right field as well.
Well, this is the part of the lineup that struggled tonight, 4 through 7, no hits.
Ground ball to short. Randall, long throw, got it, inning over. Sells gets around the damage a little bit, gives up a couple of runs. It's time to stretch.
The Mavericks scored 2 runs off the
In the 7th, 9-5 ACU.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning.
Bottom of the 7th rolls in. Pitching change for UT Arlington. Connery Peters gets the ball to right hand.
Yeah, 4th pitcher for the Mavericks tonight. The 6'6", 240-pound junior Connery Peters out of Joshua High School. They're just south of the Metroplex. Good numbers for Peters, 3-0 on the year. The ERA stands at 9. This is 13th appearance of the year. 18 strikeouts, 12 walks, and opponent batting average of .321. He'll take on a Wildcat team that is outscoring their opponents in the 7th inning, 31-7, and have the lead here at 9-5 as well. Connery Peters will come in trying to close the door on the Wildcats, give his Mavericks a chance with 6 outs to work with in the 8th and the 9th to try to get back in this thing.
And there are 5 other changes for UTA. There's a lot to sort out here. as Grayson Tatro fouls this one away. So you got Tanner Rice, who's moving from second base into left field. You got Boone Montgomery, who's going to head out to right field. Kavanaugh stays in to play third base as the pinch hitter, and he'll take over at the high corner. And then you've also got Jaden Brown, who is coming into the game to take over second base. And he'll come in to take over Zach Henry's spot. So a lot here in the 7th inning in this 9-5 game.
We'll close the line here on Citelli here in just a moment after this next pitch. Peters, the 4th pitcher tonight. Citelli, 2 innings of relief for Cade Citelli. Two runs, both earned on 2 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 25 pitches for Citelli. Hands it off to Connery Peters.
3-1 to Tatro is ball 4. Tatro's walked twice now tonight to lead off the home 7th. And the batter, Colton Eager.
Right fielder, number 8, Colton Eager.
Tatro staying patient at the plate. That's good to see even after a couple of strikeouts.
He's walked twice tonight. Maybe the most unique stat tonight with 9 runs on the scoreboard. 4th time through the lineup, but 1, 2, 3, Dixon, Tatro, and Eager are hitless tonight. Now, granted, they've walked 3 times, but those 3 guys are hitless and still 9 runs on the scoreboard for ACU.
Check over on Tatro. Two runs in the top of this inning for UTA to get it to 9-5. Give them a chance going into the final couple of innings. Ball 1 to Colton Eager. 0 for 3 tonight for ACU's leader in average, 351.
This is the 20th time in now game 37 that ACU scored 6 or more. 13-6 in the first 19 of those 20 games.
Yeah, that seems like their number. You
Yep.
get the 6 wins, you get your 6 runs scored, you give yourself a chance.
And 13-1 when leading after the 7th inning, which they'll do tonight.
Taking off Tatro, he is in, stolen base. And for Grayson Tatro, that's his 9th of the year.
Good jump off of first. You see here, not a huge lead, but I'm not sure Peters ever really gave Tatro much of a look. And able to get to the steal, 2nd stolen base tonight. 3 attempts for the Wildcats.
And Crowell, that's not his specialty, throwing guys out. 2-0 the count. Eager takes a strike. Second and final meeting this year between these two teams, and then they'll become conference opponents next spring. UTA joining the WAC. Eager through the right side, that's a base hit. Tatro coming around, throw is cut off. A run back for the Wildcats. They're into double figures tonight, it's 10-5.
Well, good piece of hitting there by Colton. Big hole on that right side between first and second base. Just turned on a ball and drove it into right field for his first hit of the night. Keep the hitting streak alive now at 5 consecutive, dating back into last week.
And now Tanner Tweed.
It's RBI number 34 on the year for Colton. Team leading RBI number 34.
I was talking to some of the folks here at ACU about that right field spot that Colton Eager, has held down for Abilene Christian for a long time.
Yeah.
His brother Tyler Eager wore number 8 and played right field before him. So it's been a long time, almost a decade of Eagers in right field for ACU. That's all this ballpark has known for close to a decade.
I don't think anyone is eager to give that up anytime soon. But the days are thinning out.
Playing his final season as a Wildcat, the graduate student this year. And, of course, everybody got the extra year after 2020's 15-game season. It's for, ACU was 15 games. For other teams, it was maybe even less than that before COVID shut down the year. So you get them back and a chance to. Now you just don't know what year anybody is anymore, really. And so Eager took advantage of the grad year and comes back for one final season in a purple uniform. 2-0 to Tweed. 3-0, and Tweed has had an interesting night. It's a double and a walk. He scored twice and then struck out, so 1 for 2. Fourth plate appearance.
Almost wore this one on the sleeve.
That gets away for ball 4. And ACU's got first and second and still nobody out against Peters.
Now batting for the Wildcats, the shortstop number 1, Bash Randall.
Mound visit for UTA.
I don't think this will be a pitching change, but we will get a mound visit here for Peters, who took over here in the inning. More action, as you can see.
How about this?
Yep.
ACU has another run, so now it's 32-7 in the 7th inning this season. For some reason, they stretch a little bit and swing the bats pretty well.
Well, that's a stat that tells you that the Wildcats will stay in games down the stretch in the end. Have the capability of coming back if they trail on the scoreboard, or put up insurance runs when they lead on the scoreboard, and already 1 in tonight, 2 on, nobody out.
And in the bullpen for UTA is Trevor Pruitt, the junior right-hander out of Peoria, Arizona. So no doubt that was a visit to speed up the warm-up process for Pruitt as Rick McCarty looks on.
His son Miles, they're 2 to the right. Part of that Little League World Series team here from Abilene that made their way to Williamsport last summer.
Bash Randall showing bunt and fouls it off for strike 1. And a smile on the face of Randall, the sophomore superstar shortstop.
Well, the stat line of the night tonight, 2 for 3, home run, 2-run single, 4 RBIs on the night.
That is into center, and a base hit coming around Eager. He'll score. 5 driven in for Randall tonight, and ACU leads 11-5.
Just another good piece of hitting right up the middle. And Randall tonight is 5th multi-RBI game, but the first time more than 2 in a game this season in 2022. RBI number 5 on the night. The Wildcats gave up 2 in the top of the 7th. They've got him back here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, he is swinging a hot bat after a very tough weekend. He has matched a career high with 5 RBI, did so last season against New Mexico State. That gets away.
Zach, this feels like the first time here at the bottom of the 7th that this game's kind of hit a lull. I thought we had a great rhythm to the game, great pace to the game. Despite the runs on the board, it was a well-executed game, but first time we've really seen a lull here in this bottom of the 7th inning. Maverick infield will play in again. They're going to try to cut off home plate on a hard-hit ground ball.
Down 6, trying to keep it at that. Second and third, still nobody out of the inning. And Hill is ahead 2-0. You wonder how much longer Peters will get. already given up 2 runs, 2 hits, and the other 2 are walks. Has not recorded an out tonight. Ball 3, Bryson Hill. He's had himself a nice night, couple of hits, including a home run. His last time up, a 2-run shot in the 5th. Swinging away, 3-0.
Well, he was trying to match Bash's 5 RBIs with that swing. He already has 2 to his name tonight. This is Bryson. He's trying to get 3, 4, and 5 on that swing. Just missed it. Well, the wind has completely died. Zach just looked out left field line, the flags. Bet we were in the 15 to 20 mile an hour to start tonight. But look at the flags now. They are barely moving out there in left field.
Really strange how that works.
Yeah.
You know, there was a storm system to the east of Abilene, south and east tonight that was moving towards the Metroplex. And it was severe thunderstorm watches for that area. We figured it was going to be fine in Abilene, and sure enough, it has been here tonight. That's a walk to Hill, and the bases are loaded. This should be it for Peters. A tough bottom of the 7th inning. And it is a call to the bullpen for the Mavericks. 2 runs are in the inning, still nobody out, and ACU's got the bases loaded. Pitching change for UTA. Trevor Pruitt, the right-hander, takes over. Got a lot of work to do. Bases are loaded, nobody out. Call to the pen for UT Arlington.
Yeah, tough spot to come in here for Trevor Pruitt, but he will be the 5th Maverick pitcher tonight. The junior right-hander, 5'11", 180 pounds, out of Peoria, Arizona, will take over on the mound. No record, 5.19 the ERA as he makes his 8th appearance of the year. 8 2/3 innings of work, 7 strikeouts, and just the 2 walks. But he will take over in a tough spot. Connery Peters faced 5 batters tonight, did not record an out. 2 runs are in, the bases are loaded, and Trevor Pruitt will step in. Again, the 5th pitcher of the night here tonight for the Mavericks.
Yeah, so Peters responsible for all 3 on base, and this will be the first time tonight that ACU has been in a situation to where it's got the bases loaded. And quite honestly, that hasn't gone very well this year for these Wildcats. A 184 team batting average with the bases loaded, 9 for 49 this year. But an opportunity with nobody out. You don't need hits in this situation technically to get the job done. But it's Brett Hammett with a big chance here for ACU, already up by 6.
Yeah, a chance to add some insurance here. Get a sacrifice fly or a ground ball out. The Maverick defense has gone back to normal depth in the middle of the infield, so they're willing to take a double play ball to give up a run. But bottom of the 7th with a 6-run lead already. The Wildcats just looking for some insurance here. And they'll start with the bases loaded, nobody out.
So Brett Hammett, 1 for 3 tonight. Doubled and scored in the 4th. Oh, look out. Oh, off of his helmet. Goodness. Looks like he's all right, but you never want to see that. That's a run and an RBI on the helmet.
Yeah, not the way you want to take one. Boy, oh, man, right on the extended piece. It looked like off the earpiece on that front side. Takes one for the team. Everybody moves up 90 feet. The lead up to 12-5. Well, that's tough. First pitch out of the gate there for Pruitt.
So another run to go up 7, and now you're talking as Hunter Gieser fouls one off. Now you're talking about the winning run being at first base potentially tonight in a non-conference game. Yep. Sometimes that run rule can come into effect. So I didn't think we'd be talking about that the way this game was going, but up 7, you got the 15th run of the game there at first base. Did that hit Gieser? Yeah, it did. That's another hit by pitch and another run, and it's 13-5.
You know, this just stays in on the hands. Yep, Gieser turns in, but takes it right off the hands. Back-to-back hit by a pitch.
Now back to that rule. It's not a written rule anywhere. It is in the WAC. If you are playing a conference game and you're up by 10 after 7, the game's over. However, in a non-conference game, the coaches have to agree on that, so it'll depend on how Rick McCarty and Darren Thomas want to play this. But ACU's got a real chance here. 1-0 count to Aaron Staley to score a couple of runs.
We did see that come into effect when TCU was in town a few weeks ago. That was a game called after 7. Of course, a couple games in the WAC, a win versus Tarleton, and then the game versus Sam Houston earlier this past weekend. So we have seen that rule come into effect a few times. And now that run at second base.
2-0 count to Staley. Into left, that's down. That's a base hit. 1 run in. They are going to send Hammett. He will score. 2 more runs as the ball gets away. And Staley goes up to second base. The lead is 10, 15-5. And that will do it. It's a walk-off for Aaron Staley. And all of a sudden, a 6-run 7th. And ACU wins by 10. Wow. It's a final.
Well, I tell you what, at 6 in the bottom of the 7th to put the final touches on that one. And it was a lot of free passes, but Staley, the 2-run single to close things out. Well, not much of a better night you can ask for an ACU team who was coming in, losers of 5 in a row. The pitching fantastic tonight. The bats came alive. Flawless tonight, no errors defensively. Nice bounce-back midweek game tonight for the Wildcats.
Yeah, you can talk about it a lot of different ways, whether it's the offense that was really good or whether Trevor Jackson, who's going to get the win out of the bullpen for Abilene Christian tonight. There's a lot to like about Rick McCarty's club. That's as good of a bounce-back win as you can ask for.
Especially falling behind 3-0 early. As UTA led 3-0 early, but the Wildcat bats come alive. 2 home runs tonight, 2 more doubles. And, yeah, I think Trevor Jackson's obviously the story on a pitching staff that's been inconsistent and struggled this year. Trevor Jackson out of the bullpen, 4 innings of scoreless relief, not only no runs but no hits as well for Trevor Jackson on 56 pitches tonight, 4 strikeouts as well. Good bounce-back game for the Wildcats. Now it's time to build on some momentum of what just happened tonight.
UTA goes to 11-22 on the season at ACU now, 16-17. This year. That is going to do it tonight from Crutcher Scott Field. It's a final of Abilene Christian 15 and UT Arlington 5. This has been a presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Until next time, Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, the entire gang, Will King in the studio saying so long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas.